Hi, David. You were here for the plenary session of artificial intelligence. Is that it?
That's right.
The title is very impressive. Is a generous revolution serving health? Is it a generous revolution?
So I believe artificial intelligence is so far a bit of a slow revolution, which is starting to serve health. A lot of its promise has not yet been fulfilled, but I do anticipate, as in the way of many of these disruptive curves, there's a slow, disappointing phase before the faster and more exciting phase will come. So I predict that over the next 10 years, artificial intelligence will become a dramatic revolution, serving health. And
But still, it's it's too soon, maybe.
well, there are impressive things that are already
Like
happening.
what? Do you have examples?
So we have a software which can help to diagnose which type of cancer somebody has. You know, cancers vary greatly, and it may seem on the outside, oh, this person has leukemia, the same as everybody else who has leukemia, but in fact, there are different genetic variants. And in order to make sense out of the genomic sequencing, it's of great help to be able to look at huge amounts of data, and software can do that, and that's artificial intelligence. It's basically spotting patterns which are too hard for humans to see easily. And that's what artificial intelligence is going to come into its own.
But do patients realize how important is it can be for the medicines, for the doctors, for the
I don't think
academic-
people yet understand enough about artificial intelligence. One of my pleas to the public is educate yourselves about what's really happening in artificial intelligence. You know, it's quite different from what it used to be in the movies. And even in the last few years, artificial intelligence has made many breakthroughs in what it can recognize. For example, in reading X-rays or other images, it used to be that humans would be the best way to spot what might be there. Increasingly now, software is able to look at these biopsies and spot things. So one of the computing systems actually came up with a new test for whether a particular growth, a tumorous growth in a breast, would be malignant or benign. From the 1930s, there's been a number of tests which doctors have learnt. But this software was able to spot a new pattern which people hadn't realized before as a good indication that in some cases the tumor would be malignant.
Yes, but what's the next step? I mean, what you know, to be in 10 years, like you said, to talk about a real revolution, what is from now the next step?
So the one big change is our ability to understand our genome. You know, the reason why your hair color is different from mine, in part, is because we have a different DNA. DNA also determines how likely we are to get various diseases. It also determines how likely we are to respond well to particular drugs. And artificial intelligence is coming into its own in analyzing our DNA sequences. That's a big change. Increasingly also it'll be used to help us reprogram our DNA. So you and I are used from time to get a message on our phone, please upgrade the software, there's a new version available. Perhaps in 10 years' time we'll be getting messages in our smart glasses, hey, there's an upgrade available for your DNA, would you like to install it? And it might
be like that?
Yes, and it might allow us to have a stronger immune system, for example. It might allow us to have a more aggressive treatment of so-called zombie cells or senescent cells, that's cells in the body which die. And when we're young, the body takes care of it by themselves. When we are older, these cells remain in our body, damaging the environment. And with genetic reprogramming, we can become better at recycling these cells, and we'll remain younger for longer. And as we are younger, we'll be healthier.
But is there any limit of that, of this artificial intelligence? I mean, is maybe the policies or politics do not understand how useful can it be, or?
Well, the limitations are in people's thinking, yes. If we have the wrong ideas about what the software and AI can do.
Can provide, yes.
So, for example, many people say all that AI can do is crunch numbers. It can't ask questions, it can't be creative, it can't be compassionate. Well, that's old AI. Modern software systems increasingly are emotionally intelligent. They can help to reassure.
How do you work on this evolution of the mentalities?
Well, there are lots of new robots in Japan, for example, which give emotional comfort to people. So it used to be said that you might have a doctor that would still hold your hand when you were ill, and the software would tell you the actual treatment. But now we have can look forward to robots holding our hands, and not tiring. So I think there's a change coming which we all need to anticipate. Creative, emotional robots. And that will allow us humans to concentrate on the things that we really like to do rather than other things which take a lot of our effort.
Oh, this is very interesting. Thank you, David Wood, Chair of London Futurists. We'll see you in the artificial intelligence here in the 12th edition of Biovision here in Lyon. Next guest after this jingle.